What up, everyone? I'm the one, the only comic outlaw, aka Jack Slater, the main man, the man with the plan, super villain, and we're bringing you Salvation Run number 6, the Joker Luther War. It's finally boiled over to a head, and these two are going one on one, e mano, to find out who is gonna win this slugfest. And yes, it is a slugfest between these two. The cover is not lying. There's no false advertising. And we kick it off with the Martian being caught, captured, and getting toasted by heat wave. Fire is the Martian's weakness. And like I said before, some say it's psychological, some say it's physical. Depends on what you read in the comics. But anyways, it hurts the hell out of him, and they're keeping him chained. They're keeping him trapped, and they're basically holding him for hostage. And they're trying to decide what to do with him. And Croc, of course, wants to eat him. I guess it's better than throwing a rock at him. But anyways, the rogues are talking. They want him as a bargaining chip, just in case they need something or they need to pump information out of him. The man's a fountain of information on the Justice League, for example. And Luther kind of comes out and straightens out Croc a little bit. And it's interesting, Luther dealing with a Gotham villain, which I think is very, very cool. And he tells him to go eat someone else, which Croc is probably promptly going to go do. Knowing Croc, you must feed the beast, if you know what I'm saying. And, he talks to Heatwave, tells him to put a little more heat on. And, of course, the Martian is using his psychic ability, because that's one of his many, many abilities. And he's starting to reach into the mind of one Bane. And it's an interesting process in how he's doing it. It seems like he's doing it little by little. But Bane soon falls under the influence, gives Heatwave a kick, and then he's stopped when he kind of like burns his hand a little bit and kind of snaps him back out of it. And Luther, just thinking this is just another spat between the villains, which does and often happens, he kind of just like, eh. But there's plenty of fire people to take up the burning of the bars, and this Joker is actually just getting tired of being here. He wants to get back to Gotham where everything makes sense and he could just Joker gas a bunch of people and do what he does. But Bane has fallen under the thrall of the Martian again. It gives another kick to Heatwave, and Luther is actually really, really knowing what's going on now. He knows that it's the Martian and that he must be stopped. But he has to deal with the Joker, of course. And he is so sick of his ranting, his raving, because he contributes nothing, he does nothing. Luther's the one coming up with a plan. Luther's the one that's actually trying to get them off this rock. And he feels that Joker's not participating. But at the same time, Joker runs the army. They kill a lot of the creatures that attack, so... Anyways, they have this little discussion. Joker just pimp slaps the hell out of him. I mean, like, literally, he just backhands him, and I mean, that's just a wonderful scene to behold right there. I mean, you've always wanted to see that. I mean, deep down, I've always wanted to see that. Now, let's take a look at Team Savage and his women's. He's waking up in the morning so they can go and do their chores and build their houses. And one chick's kind of looking on to the side. Her name is Phobia, from what I believe. And she's sort of in it with Savage on this, and Savage is just directing them around. I mean, you gotta love Savage. He keeps that pimp hand strong, and he's talking to Phobia, because Phobia is making them scared, making them more susceptible to Savage and his suggestions. And he's kind of just laying the pimp talk down on her too, just letting her, hey baby, this is the way things are done, this is the way it's gonna be, it has to be this way. And he's just controlling the different girls using manipulation. You gotta love Savage. But meanwhile, the schoolyard fight's about to start. Straight up schoolyard, look at these villains, they're gathered around just like it was the 4th grade. And Luther spouts out no mercy, and Joker just gives him a look like, sure, shall we dance? Because straight up, it's time Luther danced with the devil in the pale moonlight. As Luther throws a punch, misses. And Luther's smarter than him. He uses that pole to his advantage, gives him a high elbow, and Joker gives him a kick, which is weird because you see Joker has a weird high heel on his shoe, which I didn't even notice upon doing this video. Anyways, he gives him a nice big kick in his bald head. He's bleeding a little bit. Joker takes some time to just kind of open his big mouth, and Luther takes advantage of it and starts beating dirt out of him. Of course, Joker cheats, Luther ends up hurting his hand, and Joker just starts monologuing a bit more. And it's just two opposites, two different views on how to be a villain. And of course, they're going at it. Luther gets a tremendous haymaker in the gut. Joker, of course, headbutts him with that head of steel. And they're just basically going at it, kicking, punching, hitting whatever, whenever. I mean, these two men have been frustrated with each other for a long time, and it's time that they vented some of this frustration out. And of course, Luther is on top of him, and now he's got the advantage. He's beating the dog out of him until Joker decides that Luther ought to try to smell his flower. Barely gets out of the way of the acid. Joker clocks him with a haymaker. And I love how he kind of tells him, when you hurt people, when you cause pain, it's just business. But Joker, he loves his job. Pain is his business, and death is his business, and business is good, if you know what I'm saying. That's the way the Joker operates. And he just kicks licks right in the face. I mean, straight up super kick him. Shawn Michaels would be proud. The Usos would be going, ooh. So, but anyways, when he's right in the middle, right when he's about to finish him off with that knife, the boom tubes start popping off. And boom, boom, boom. And every team's starting to realize that something different, something strange is going on. But what is it? And as these tubes start to explode, like the agents of Apocalypse come through. And this is basically what they would refer to as the final cleansing. Who survives would be troops for Apocalypse, but they're basically going to send a whole bunch of people in and see who slaughters who and who basically lives. Because this is the way it works in Apocalypse. It's survival of the fittest. Whoever could kill them, whoever could kill the most, whoever could do what they do. Now Lex has been waiting for this opportunity. He's going to draw energy off of from the machine that he's made from these boom tubes to try to get them home. So basically the fight just stops because Joker's realizing what's going on too. Everything's starting to go immediately. He's telling everyone to man the machine, check the Martian, and as he looks up, he's like, oh no, parademons. And I love how he just tells the villains, fire at will. And these guys have nothing to lose. And it's Team Joker, Team Luther has combined for this time to take out Darkseid's minions. And that's the way it works in the supervillain community. It's so much like the pirate code from the Pirates of the Caribbean. But anyways, they open fire, they start shooting, and I love how Mirror Master's having a moment of panic, and Heatwave's like, well, I don't care. As long as I get to barbecue a few of them, which is so typical of Heatwave. But we'll find out how this ends. We'll find out who lives, who dies from this parademon attack, and if they ever get home. Will they get home? We'll find out the next time. And as always, I'll catch you on the flip side. Laters.